If you've got a CO laser, you've probably asked yourself, what can I actually make with this thing? So I tested 10 different materials from plywood to glass. And I'll show you what works, what doesn't, and what you probably shouldn't try unless you like ruining stuff. Let's start with plywood, the comfort zone of laser cutting. It's cheap, easy to work with, and honestly perfect for testing ideas. For engraving photos, plywood works surprisingly well because the surface burns into a nice dark tone. Settings-wise, I usually go with medium power, fairly high speed, and a decent DPI. But here's the catch, plywood is layered. Different glue, different density, which means your results can randomly change. So if your engraving suddenly looks terrible, don't worry, it's not you, it's the plywood. Solid wood, now we're getting serious. I used oak for this frame, and immediately everything looks more premium. The grain gives character, but also chaos. Dark grain burns differently than light grain, so your engraving can look uneven. Lower power, slower speed usually gives you a cleaner result. But you'll need to dial it in for every piece. Wood doesn't care about your settings, it does what it wants. Leather is one of my favorites. It engraves clean, dark, and smells, well, like you're doing something illegal. Use low to medium power and avoid going to slow. Otherwise you'll burn to deep and lose detail. The best part is the contrast, it just looks good without much effort. The worst part, you only get one shot. There's no undo on leather. Metal with a coating, like this knife, is actually pretty easy. The laser removes the coating and reveals the metal underneath. So you don't need crazy power, just enough to strip the surface. High speed, lower power works well here. And the result is super crisp. Just remember, you're not engraving metal. You're basically just deleting paint very precisely. Mirrors are a completely different game. Unlike most materials, you don't engrave the front, you engrave the back. Which means your entire design has to be flipped horizontally. If you forget that, congratulations, you just made art that only looks correct in another dimension. For settings, I usually go with medium power and moderate speed, but the real challenge isn't the engraving. It's the material itself. Glass doesn't forgive mistakes. Too much power, too much heat buildup, or even drilling the wrong hole in the wrong place. And suddenly you hear that one sound you never want to hear. Crack. Ask me how I know. The trick is to keep things controlled, at consistent speed, not too aggressive power, and ideally letting the material cool between passes if needed. Another important thing is contrast. When you engrave the back of a mirror, the result looks kind of meh at first. But once you add a backing layer or LED lighting, that's when it comes alive. Suddenly all those engraved lines start glowing, and it turns into something that actually looks premium. So yeah, mirrors are risky, but when they work, they really work. And when they don't, well, at least you get a good story out of it. Stone engraving feels permanent. Unlike wood or acrylic, you're not really burning the material. You're basically blasting the surface and changing its texture. I used a stone serving board, and the result is this light, almost frosted engraving that contrasts really nicely with the darker stone. For settings, you'll want higher power and slower speed. This isn't a fast process. Also, detail depends a lot on the stone itself. Smooth, polished surfaces work best. Rough stone just eats your detail. It's slow, it's loud. But the end result feels like it'll outlive everything else in this video. Acrylic is one of those materials that can either look amazing or completely pointless. If you engrave it without lighting, the result is very subtle, almost invisible depending on the angle. But the magic happens when you add LED lighting. Suddenly every engraved line catches the light and glows, turning it into something that actually looks high-end. Settings-wise, go lower power and higher speed. You want to engrave, not melt. If you see melted edges or cloudy mess, you've gone too far. Acrylic rewards precision, not brute force. Denim is basically controlled burning. The laser removes the top dyed layer, revealing a lighter tone underneath, which creates the image. Lower power is key here. Too much, and you'll just burn straight through the fabric, which is not a great look unless you're going for custom ventilation. Also, the smell. Let's just say, you'll know when you're engraving denim. But if you dial it in right, the result is actually pretty unique. Gold acrylic is one of those materials that instantly makes everything look more expensive than it actually is. Most of the time, it's not solid gold, it's a layered material with a thin metallic top layer and a different color underneath. And that's exactly what makes it so good for engraving. The laser removes that top layer and reveals the contrast below, giving you a super clean, high contrast result without needing any paint or post-processing. For settings, medium power and fairly high speed usually work best. You don't need to go aggressive, you're only removing a thin surface layer. Too much power, and you risk melting the edges or losing detail, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of using a premium-looking material. Another important thing is focus. If your focus is off, the engraving can look soft instead of sharp, and with something like gold acrylic, sharpness is everything. MDF might not be the most exciting material, but it's one of the most consistent. Unlike wood, there's no grain, no surprises, just smooth, predictable engraving. Medium power, medium speed works perfectly here. The downside is the look. It's not as premium as real wood. But for things like templates, prototypes, or parts, MDF is actually hard to beat. It just does what you tell it to do. Glass is one of the most satisfying materials, and also one of the most stressful. The laser doesn't cut or burn it, it creates tiny fractures on the surface, which gives you that frosted look. For settings, you want lower power and higher speed, sometimes even multiple light passes instead of one aggressive one. Because if you go too hard, you don't get a better engraving, you get a broken bottle. And that's a very quick way to end your project. But when it works, especially on something like a wine bottle, it looks clean, subtle, and very professional. So yeah, these are 10 materials you can use with a CO laser. Some are easy, some are unpredictable. But that's kind of the whole game. You experiment, you mess up. And sometimes you accidentally make something awesome.